What's up, everyone? Two mostly bald guys here. Well, actually, just one of them. Going to show you how to replace a brake caliper on a 96 F-150. Alright, here's my old caliper, still installed. As you can see, I broke the bleeder screw off. That's where it was. Got a new one. It's only $35. Figured, screw it, might as well just replace it. I didn't want to deal with using a tap and die set and getting the old bleeder screw out. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to take that old one off, and the process that I like to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and take this bolt out and set this will actually free the caliper. The caliper, I'm just going to set it off to the side with the line connected to it and everything. That way that the fluid that's in the line won't drain out on me. So I'll set it off to the side. Then I'm going to set up the new caliper on here. That way it's ready for me. Whenever I remove the line off the old one, I can quickly transfer it over and not lose much fluid. Alright, got those two bolts out. Here and, well, there. Take the caliper off. I don't know, makes it easier. At least I think so. I just like to get a screwdriver, a little standard screwdriver. Stick it up in here and towards the outside, and you can pry that caliper and it'll open it up. It'll come off a lot easier. Simple as that. It's gone. It's probably smart to use some baling wire or something to hang the caliper. That way you don't damage this line here. I'm not going to, but so you don't damage yours, probably smart too. The new caliper came with new hardware. And that's here. It's so that the pads can slide back and forth whenever it's clamping down on the rotor and releasing, the pads moving here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the new ones in. These don't look too bad, but yeah, got new ones. Might as well. To replace those, just pull your pads out. Then just take these and a little finagling, they come right off. And since that one won't come off, I'm just going to stick the screwdriver down in there. Don't need that no more. Sorry about my camera angles here. I don't have a person help video here. Adam is at home getting ready for work. And there's that. And then you put your pads back on, and I'll go ahead and slide the new caliper on. It'll just literally fit right over the new pads. Alright, pads are on, and the caliper. Here we go. Sliding on. Now, you'll notice back here, these are the slide pins. They've got these rubber boots on them. They're filled with grease and stuff. So these pins don't rust and all the elements. Get them moved out of the way, and then I'll slide that on. I'll be right back. Alright, I got the new caliper on there. As you can see, it slid right into place. All you gotta do now is put those two bolts back in, and from there I'll remove this red cap and start tearing down the old caliper. Now that the caliper is installed, let's get this red cap here. It's put on there for shipping purposes, keeps all the dirt and grime out of there. And all I'm going to do, here's the old one. There's the old one there. And this bolt here is called a banjo bolt. When I pull it out, there's a whole bunch of holes on it, and it's got two copper crush washers on both sides of that block where the line is. The line goes into this block. When you pull the bolt out, this whole block comes off, and then the banjo bolt will stick through there. All the holes are so the fluid can go into the block, flow through the bolt into the caliper, and they gave us new copper crush washers. Here's the new crush washers. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull that bolt out, get rid of those old crush washers. All I care about is the banjo bolt. I'm going to put one bolt on, or one crush washer on the bolt, stick the bolt through the block again, and then another crush washer on the other side of the block, and then stick the bolt into the hole there and thread, of course. Alright, when you're done putting the line on the new caliper, it should look like that. This is very messy, by the way. I had a drain pan, but I didn't put it under it. I got kitty litter. This is messy. It's not good to leave the brake fluid all over everything, so when you're done, probably be smart to pick up some brake parts cleaner. Comes in an aerosol can. Pick it up at any auto parts store, Walmart, anywhere. Just drench it, just clean it all off. It's not good to have it on your brake pads and everything. For bleeding, make sure your reservoir was full. I guess I should have told you this at the beginning, but I'm telling you now. Make sure your reservoir is full before you start doing this. That way you don't have to go and bleed the other brakes. You're just dealing with this one, or if you are doing multiple, then just drain it and start from scratch. Wouldn't hurt to do a brake fluid flush anyways. When you do your bleeding of the brakes, you've probably seen in our video how to convert from drum brake to disc brakes on a 66 Impala. In there I said you want to start from the furthest most point from the master cylinder on bleeding all your brakes. Master cylinder's over there on the driver's side. Furthest place from there is going to be your passenger rear wheel. Start there. Then you'd go to the driver side rear, come to the passenger front, and then the driver side front. Since I'm only doing this caliper, and I made sure my reservoir was full, I only need to bleed this brake. I always had brake fluid flowing through the line. Reservoir was full. My reservoir has still got plenty of fluid in it. No air got in any rest of the system. So I'll be fine just to bleed this, and I won't have any air in the line. From here, there's a two-person method. You can have somebody, if you have somebody with you and you don't have access to a brake bleeder, you can have them sit in the driver's seat and pump up the brake pedal till they have pressure, and while you're sitting here on the bleeder screw, as soon as they say okay, they've got the pressure, they're going to push and hold on the brake pedal. You're going to release this screw, and fluid's going to come out. And they are going to stay on the pedal until it hits the floor, and they're going to hold it there. When the pedal hits the floor, they're going to tell you okay, or whatever you guys determine is your signal word, and then you're going to tighten this off. Then they can release the pedal. You don't want to suck air back in the system. When they release that pedal, it'll suck back, which will suck air in the system. So basically, they'll say okay, and their foot is currently on the floor. You tighten it. As soon as it's tight, you tell them okay or good to go. They'll pump it back up, and as soon as they have full pressure and can't really pump anymore, they'll put their foot on it again and push. You release. They'll follow it to the floor, hold it to the floor, tighten it off, etc. Just keep repeating. It'll come out at first, it'll be bubbles. Keep doing this until it's a steady stream of fluid coming out. That's how you do it, two-person. One person, I've got a brake bleeder I bought from Snap-on. You don't need a Snap-on brake bleeder, but I've had it for a long time and it works great. Hooks up to my air hose. All I got to do is put that on the bleeder screw, loosen it, and pull the trigger, and just sit there and keep going until basically no more errors in the system. And I got to keep make sure that when you're bleeding the system, that you never let your master cylinder reservoir go dry. You always want that full. When I'm done, I won't take that hose off till I've tightened the screw, and that's it. But this is simple enough. I think even through Snap-on, I think I only paid like, I want to say $70 for this. 70 or 80 bucks. This is probably about 10 years ago or so when I bought this. Who knows if they still make this one. It works amazing. I've used it a lot. It's paid itself off many times. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to it.
I don't know
see it or not, but yeah, it's sucking the fluid in. I've just got it, let it sit in there, and I'm just sitting here watching it, and go over and double check on the master cylinder here. It looks good. Probably hard to see. It's got the fluid going in there. And I just get to sit and watch it until it'll get a steady stream coming through the hose. I'll be back whenever it's done. I just wanted to show you how neat that thing was. Alright, it's all bled. I sprayed it down with some brake cleaner. Cleaned up everything. You don't want that brake fluid on your pads and rotor and everything. Cleaned everything up real nice. Show you how much fluid ended up coming up out of the that's about how much fluid it pulled out before I got a steady stream through the line. And then before I pulled it off and before I shut it off, I went ahead and shut that bleeder screw. And once I got that bleeder screw shut, then turned everything off and cleaned it up, and there she is. So that's how you replace a caliper on a 96 F-150. It's pretty much the same for every other car out there. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.